Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneur, infopreneur, entrepreneurs, innerpreneurs. We've just seen Christmas go this year. I hope you've had a really nice Christmas with your family and your friends. And it's great to open presents, isn't it? Especially if you have children, you have daughters, or you have nieces, or you have nephews. It's just nice to open presents anyway, isn't it? Even if you're an adult. We love opening presents and we love that spirit of Christmas and being around our families and loved ones and sharing that camaraderie and good cheer and the hope for a better year next year. So I hope you really have enjoyed your Christmas and a really nice one. Because why? Because it's been a really challenging year for us all, for everybody, hasn't it? It's really been challenging. Who would have expected this year would have turned out the way it turned out? You know what I'm talking about the pandemic. It's really thrown everything into chaos. It's really made us think about what we wanted to do this year, what we couldn't achieve. And that's been difficult and that's been challenging for us all, isn't it? But what have we learned about this year? What is most important? The values. What have we learned this year? Are we valuing our lives? Are we having gratitude for what's happened this year? Are we really seeing the values in life and what we should be focusing on? Or are we taking that for granted? Life is really important. People are really important. Our society, our community, the world we live in. But are we really focusing on the important aspects of life and virtues of life? That's what I'm thinking about this year. But what have you learned? How have you grown? Have you grown in your business? Have you grown as a thought leader? Have you grown in your career? What have you learned and how have you grown? That's really, really important. What gratitude do you have for your life? What's more important for you and what is important for everyone and the world to really look at? Because we live in a troubled world. Are we addressing the problems what we need to address? Are we highlighting the problems what need to be highlighted? Are we taking care of our planet? Are we looking after each other? Are we caring for each other? Love and compassion for me, that's what we need, and we need more of it. But this year, for business people, entrepreneurs and thought leaders, what have you learned? And what I'd like to talk about on this YouTube, is what is important for you. New Year's resolutions or determinations? But we all know about New Year's resolutions. Every year, people make New Year's resolutions, don't they, at the end of the year to celebrate the new year. They make a resolution. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. That's great. But my experience, how many times have we said we're going to do a New Year's resolution, a couple of weeks after into January and the new year, we've forgotten what we're going to do, or we don't even pursue it. Some people might be different, but for me, that's what I do. And that's a habit I've been getting into. So, what is important for you? You decide. New Year's resolutions or determinations? For me, it's determinations. Because determinations mean you're going to determine to do something in your life to help you, your family, or to help other people. But it's really important to write them determinations down. Write them down so you don't forget them and you're determined to do them. Set yourself a date. Put it on a calendar. Put it on a billboard. Put how much money you'd like to earn on that certain date, that determination. Because a lot of people this year have lost a lot of money. Businesses have collapsed. Enterprises collapsed. Organisations, charities. Everything's been affected. Our careers, our jobs, our goals. Everything's been affected. So we need to prepare now for the new year. Put them determinations, write them down, set a date when you are going to achieve it. And the universe and your subconscious mind will help you to get what you need for the new year. So what's important for you? You decide. I know what's important for me. My determination as a thought leader and entrepreneur and a mentor and a coach and a public speaker, I'll be mentoring in schools next year. I'll do a mentoring program, a coaching program, and I'll be looking after the vulnerable or the underprivileged kids what need looking after. But we all need looking after. But that's what I hope to do in the new year with my mentoring programs. I'm writing a book which is called The Wise Entrepreneur, Growing Pains. That should be finished next year as well. The deadline is the start of February. So look out for that book. These are determinations what I already set and put dates for. These have to be done so I can move on to do my other business ventures and to serve the people. So remember, what are your determinations or your New Year's resolutions? And no matter what you choose, you've got to stick by them, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to stick by them. You've got to be determined to carry them out. Because people next year are going to need people like us more than ever. Because we're here to try and solve a solution or a problem for people. And people have a lot of problems. We all have problems. And next year is going to be a challenge for us all. So why don't we all move together forward to try and help as many people get what they need to serve and help them become happy and hopefully solve a problem and give them a little bit more hope in their lives, which they feel is not there at this time in this pandemic, which has caused a lot of people a lot of stress and a lot of suffering. Let's really be determined as well to focus on the values of life, what needs to change in our world. Because sometimes we can get a little bit selfish, a little bit greedy, a little bit me. Forget everybody else. But that's not the world we want to live in. This is what society and this is what this year has shown to us. We have to be a little bit more open, a little bit more warmer and compassionate and caring for each other so we can all move forward in a positive direction. Things are going to change now. We hope for the better. But we've got to keep giving people hope, keep giving people a vision, keep giving people a direction to move in. Let's be more creative and create ideas and goals and determinations and set ourselves these tasks to achieve in our lives to help us grow and to help everybody else grow with us. Let's try and move in a positive direction. So if you want to write down your New Year's resolutions, that's absolutely fine. Me personally, I never stick by my New Year's resolutions, so that's why I don't want to do them. So for me, my determinations are more clearer and more important. Dates, goals, set to achieve them. Move on to the next task. Really important. So remember as well, this year has been a year of really thinking very, very deeply what we're going to do for next year. I'm sure people are thinking, what's the new year going to hold for us? But let's always try to be thinking positive. Let's always try to be thinking creative. Let's always try to be thinking to help other people. Let's always try to be thinking to do better this year than what we did last year. Because we know the pandemic threw up a lot of chaos for a lot of people, a lot of fears and anxieties and worries. Let's always try, ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs, infopreneurs, innerpreneurs, let's always try to give something positive. Let's always try to give hope to people. Really important. So ladies and gentlemen, I give you something to think about there. As you come to the new year, has this brought up any thoughts for you yet? Has this brought up anything that you'd like to be thinking about now? I hope it has. Has it evoked anything? It's important because we need to prepare now, don't we, for the new year? We need to be looking after them people who we know have really suffered this year, including myself. We've got to be there to help them and bring them up. We've got to be there to try and pioneer a better future for our families and friends and for everybody to live in. Because these issues come up for a reason this year. But the importance of New Year's resolutions and determinations might just help you in the new year get to where you need to be. Because a lot of people feel feel like the life has been taken away from them this year because you wanted to do so much with this year. They felt this year's been robbed from us. It's been taken away. So let's make up for it the next year. Let's be more determined to have gratitude, love, hope, compassion. Let's be more determined to see if we can help and come closer together to help one another and to come to some common goals and some common ideals for everybody to work with. Because things are going to change and the world is going to change now. We hope for the better because we always have hope. So let's always give something. Let's always try to give hope to people's lives. That's the whole point of us being entrepreneurs and thought leaders, because we feel we'll have a solution we want to solve for people's lives. So how do you feel about what I've said today? How do you feel about what I'm saying to you? Please subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. I'd love to hear your feedback on what is important to you. New Year's resolutions or determinations. You decide, but please decide to do one of them and decide to carry out what you said you're going to do to give hope to people's lives. So ladies and gentlemen, entrepreneurs, infopreneurs, innerpreneurs, thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube. I hope you've had a great Christmas and I hope you really enjoy yourself tonight for the new year and really think about what I've said and think about how you're going to prepare for the new year. It's really important. Take care and my warmest wishes to you all. Thanks again. Bye-bye.